Alright, and we are back. So yeah, this wasn't, like I said, there were two games. So this is actually the remake of Adventure. Short version, basically redone, some stuff slightly different, some stuff is slightly shorter, abilities have been tweaked, yada yada. But also it added this thing called Knightmare. So let me go ahead and start this. So 3, 2, 1, go. This is kind of the game's quote-unquote speedrun mode. You'll notice that there's actually an in-game timer. That's because it actually records your time, your fastest time going through it. However, it's only just how fast you beat it. It's not like what your percentage is. In fact, the game doesn't record a percentage for this. But pretty much what makes this hundo is the same thing that would make Nightmare Dreamland 100%. So there are 17 switches in the game, starting from 3-1. And we are going to hit each and every one of those on the way through. Otherwise, it is largely similar to any other run for Meta Knight. Meta Knight just generally moves faster than Kirby does. He's a little heavier, so he falls faster. He has a different fly-in method that kind of requires slightly rhythmic mashing. He also has less health. He's very similar to Extra Mode in that he only has 3 health, and it's very easy to just take damage, die, and have that happen repeat a lot. This mode is actually quite difficult for that reason. And if you try this yourself, it can be a difficult, frustrating experience, and it's the same for a speedrun until honestly you just practice a lot. You get really good at doing lots of Meta Knight's movement. Like for example, you'll see that I do like a kind of a slash attack as I jump. That is so Meta Knight gets extra height. Meta Knight gets extra height, he keeps some of his momentum. There's other ways to keep that momentum. Also damage-wise, he's very similar to just the sword ability in general. But unfortunately, he also moves a little bit as he attacks. That's why you'll see me just jump in place and attack. That is so Meta Knight stays still. Also, unlike Adventure, we totally want candy. Candy is amazing, so we're going to be grabbing it. Also, bosses get to do a little more, because it takes a little bit longer for us to take them out with a sword compared to a UFO. I can't imagine why. Oh, other than Wispy. Wispy, still, honestly, really does nothing. It's Wispy Woods. You know him, you love him. He drops apples. And it's all fun and games until you have to deal with the biblically accurate version. It's also all fun and games until you have the Twister decide to be mean, and you die. Did I mention this is hard? Really, though, stuff like that happens. Devs don't usually waste a lot of time though. It's a few seconds loss, and yeah, you start from the start of the room again. But devs are otherwise at least quick. They're just not ideal. Also, this is Brain Relay again, and now we have to worry about them. Never mind. Never mind. We just went and slashed their tires. Nothing unusual. Just a normal day in Dreamland. Just a normal day if Meta Knight decides he wanted to do some sword practice. Which I think that's actually the premise of Meta Knightmares. Meta Knight wants to go out and practice, so he decides to beat up Dreamland in the process. Decides to just wreak havoc in Dreamland for it. And if you remember the stage from from the KA run that we just did, you'll remember. Wait a minute, didn't Meta Knight show up here to fight you? Yes, he did, and he's here now. We are fighting ourselves in a surprising twist. We're also doing a damage boost from this one. Just to take those last two out a little bit quicker, we are fine on health. Yes, I know there's only 2 health. That constitutes as fine. If we were really worried there's a tomato here we didn't grab, and oftentimes I do end up grabbing it, and I'm gonna grab it this time because that did not need to happen. Thank you, Meta Knightmare, for immediately making me need to actually get that. Anyways, difficulty aside, honestly, this run is very fast-paced. There's really, like, almost no downtime. Like, you're almost always doing something. You know, whether it's just trying to run through, if it's hitting the enemies so they're out of your way. Like, we don't have to worry about lag in this one, but we do have to worry about stuff being in our way. And we also have to worry about, you know, having patience, which apparently I didn't have right there. Also weird trait you'll notice with Meta Knight is his jump speed is actually slower. That is because his jump speed is basically his walking speed. In the inverse of Kirby, where Kirby is always at dash speed whenever he's jumping. Also, yes, there's the guy with the tomato. We can't actually do it. You have to inhale the enemy to do that. And Meta Knight can't do that. Anyways, this is Paint Roller. I think we might kill him before... Yeah, we killed him before he got to do the painting. Oh well, maybe another day. Maybe another day. Paint Roller does some really good paintings. Unfortunately, they're kind of painful to look at. But mostly, you know, because they actually hurt. Anyways, so this is 3-1, and I mentioned earlier there's 17 switches. This is the first of them, and this is what sets this run apart. So hitting these switches unlocks other things within the level. Most of the time, it's stuff that we either don't care about or can't access. But we do get a health refill for each and every one we hit, and that is honestly very welcome in this mode. Honestly, this one's probably a little easier compared to standard Meta Knightmare. Standard Meta Knightmare, you never hit a switch, so your health refills are a lot more limited, and it's even easier to die as a result. It is, however, several minutes shorter. Because for standard Meta Knightmare, oh geez, I think the record's over like a 27 or 26 in-game. And I have the world record for this category with I think it's a 32-37. Also in-game. Honestly, just add like a minute 10, and you get pretty much a real time for that. Okay, that's fine. A little bit stuffed on the movement, but that happens. There is a little bit of like lag. I don't know if I just land in lag. It'd be the best way to put it. But whenever you collide with something, you kind of bounce into it slightly, and you can't. And the game won't take any inputs when you do that. This game is a lot better. It doesn't actually eat the inputs so much as has moments where it actually just doesn't accept them. Which I guess technically means they're even. Also, we don't have to worry about the wind in this room because we don't have UFO's whole thing. Also, again, Candy is really good in this version, so we're gonna pretty much take it anytime we have a chance for it. And it means this mini-boss is gonna be nothing. So this is Bonkers, we can just stand in him and attack. And by now you've also noticed, I'm just kind of going from like one stage to the next incredibly quickly, and that's also because there's no goal game. Meta Knight does not have time for silly nonsense like that yet. Emphasis on yet, because that changes later. But for now, Meta Knight has decided he is too cool to jump on a trampoline and do a little dance. So he doesn't. And that door would have been for Kirby's air grind, which is totally not Kirby air right at home. But we're Meta Knight, so Meta Knight's also decided he's too cool for each and every mini-game and won't do anything with them either. Like, so much so he just boards up the door and he's done with it. It's like, no, I'm not doing that. Not sure what made him change his mind, because he certainly did change his mind eventually. Also, I know I said nothing about Mr. Shiny, Mr. Bright, and that's because they go down about as quickly as with Meta Knight as they did with UFO. Oh, no. Okay, we're fine. I didn't want to do it that way, and I almost paid for it. But we're fine, we didn't die, we got the switch, and we're good. And with any luck, these switchers will not be mean. These switchers are mean. I'm going to wait, because I'd like to not take a second hit. Anyways, as I started going through here, since it's been a bit, for anyone that has just tuned in into the marathon. If you've liked any of this, if you liked any of the earlier runs, if you liked anything that's coming up after this run, because I believe there is a randomizer coming up after this. Consider subscribing to Link to the Tier or avoid donating to Child's Play, the charity that the proceeds are going to. Also, Twin Poppy in that one is about as bad as Twin Poppy in Adventure. The only difference is that Meta Knight can actually kind of deal with things a little bit better. We also take a different path through this room. We say low because there's more flat terrain that Meta Knight can just simply run through, and that's a lot easier for us to navigate. Also, here's a switch. This one's very easy to miss, actually. It is very easy to just go into this door, not think anything of it, and then wait a minute. What's further ahead? And/or you're doing a run of this, and you're like, wait a minute, I forgot to hit the switch. And then you, just kind of silently reset your run because you have to replay the stage now. Hopefully I don't miss any of the switches in this. If I do, I will just simply replay the stage. I can't soft reset. If I soft reset, you'll notice this at the beginning of this, the game said you can't save, and it meant that. You do not save. It only saves your final time once you finish. And that's it. So, if I soft reset, I start from the very beginning And that is a very bad thing to do in this run. There's no danger of me doing it outside of on purpose, effectively, and yeah, the chances of me doing a soft reset are very low. Not zero, but low enough that it's not gonna come up. Also, candy. And a brief moment of me predicted Meta Knight physics. But the way you do that room as Kirby is a little bit different, because of Kirby's momentum. Also, I'm still not sure why Meta Knight is fighting why we're fighting ourselves here. There's no lore reason for this either. Like, there's nothing about, like, why is Meta Knight fighting Meta Knight? Did he have somebody, like, dress up in his, like, mask and whatnot? I like to think this is why we have Dark Meta Knight in Amazing Mirror, the game that came after this one. Like, part of me just thinks, like, oh, Flash just looked at this and was like, ooh, that would be a neat idea, and they did it. Also, that one wanted to slide into us for some reason. That's fine, though. We have a health refill. That door is what is called a Warp Star Station. If you want to very quickly go from one hub to the other, that would be the way to do it. In this run, we don't use them because we generally don't need them. Like, we're doing the stages one by one anyways. There's never a reason to backtrack unless we forget to do a switch. And if I forget that, I can tell immediately. Doors that have, levels that have switches, their door will stay orange if they are not pressed. Once they are pressed, they turn white like every other stage does. Also, this is Tracker. He'll actually be doing stuff to us. He's also actually a little bit harder to do that cleanly because it's very easy to, like, overextend or throw yourself at Tracker because of Meta Knight's, just mechanics. Quick to, cancel our down step. If we don't cancel that down step in time, we can actually have a little bit of hits done on the blocks. I have died doing that. It is actually funny when it happens. I just don't want it to in a marathon run. It would be kind of embarrassing. I hope y'all understand. Although maybe I should have done it for the content. Also, now I get to actually show you 5-2 proper. Because we do not have anything crazy like the pause collision glitch in this game. In fact, this game has, like, no glitches. Or at least none that matter. There's, like, one that exists, and it's like Kirby can walk on air if he's on, like, some breakaway blocks, and that's kind of it. In the meantime, enjoy seeing 5-2 in its actual glory. And this is the mini-boss that we would have had to deal with. Also, this stage slightly sucks. You'll remember at the end. There's the spike room where you have to, like, very carefully where with KA we had the UFO. We just effortlessly just navigate it and not have to worry about anything. We don't have that luxury as Meta Knight, and now we have to actually probably take a death. Actually, not that way though. That's gonna be bad. That's gonna cost us a bunch of time. I mean, a health refill is a health refill, but this wasn't the place to do it. That is very unfortunate. At least we got through it without taking a hit this time, so we're good now. But at any rate, the reason I bring this up is pretty much while Kirby should just be UFO and have no problems here for Meta Knight, yeah, we basically play Flappy Knight. I don't know how else to put it. We play Flappy Knight and hate it because the spikes are very easy to hit. Same for these ones. And I'm glad we get it this time. It does get really annoying if I have to, like, say, do this with 1 health. Also, hi again, Meta Knight. I hope I'm doing alright. And we're just gonna kind of stay up here. There is a faster strat to do that section. It is slightly more risky. And after having that one really bad death, I'd rather not do it. And this area is a complete non-issue. Then I just down stabs through everything, and that's it. Also, from this point onward, we have a switch in every stage, until 7-1. Thankfully, this also means, we did a health refill once per stage now. So, we have a nice advantage. Kind of. At the very least, it means we should be dying less now. But yes, I suppose for that stage earlier, a couple stages ago, yeah, that was definitely an F moment. It's gonna be that for Firelion here too. After he's finished mauling my face. But that was the other room that we just completely skipped. Now, hopefully I don't miss this one. I actually missed this switch in practice and had to go back through the stage. But we went through the wheelie room, went through that room, gotta be careful so that Waddle Dee doesn't hit us, that Waddle Dee will if we don't. Okay, good, we remembered this one now. And this was nice, is we did the health refill right before the boss. We did a 1-up, so that's just nice to have in general. And then we go say hi to Heavy Mole. Heavy Mole does do a little more here. They also actually have a very weird interval in how often you can hit them. So that's why you're seeing me do this kind of weird kind of combination there. Done right, Heavy Mole doesn't do a whole lot, and it's honestly actually a very safe fight compared to doing it with Kirby. Although doing it as Kirby isn't... Depends on the category. Depends very heavily on the category. So if you're doing like a standard run, you find out with Hammer, and Hammer takes it down to about as quickly. And about as safely. If you don't use Hammer for some reason, good luck. Heavy Mole's a nightmare. Or if you don't use Meta Knight, because Meta Knight apparently just trivializes it as Meta Knight does. Also, now we get to see this room without the game completely bugging out. And yet another switch. Those doors, if you're wondering, those are what are called arenas. Basically, there's a mini boss you fight that'll give you an ability when you beat them, and a maximum tomato to top off your health. Meta Knight doesn't really care about anything but the tomato, so you're not likely to see those unless we are really, really desperate for the health. And even then, a lot of the time, it's probably still going to be more beneficial to just eat a death instead. Okay, good. Sparky didn't attack until afterwards. And now I'm slightly worried that we might actually die trying to get to the switch. Because this hothead can attack. If that one attacks, we just die. We don't really have a chance otherwise. Thankfully, we don't have to worry about that. We got our health refill, and we're good. And funny enough, we actually have an easier time in this room than with UFO and KA. Because Meta Knight can just very easily attack the Starfies as they fall down. And I'm excited to show you the rest of this stage now. Along with a slight skip there, because we didn't actually hit that block, and skip a... Basically just we don't have to go around and deal with the bottle too, at least. But we'll deal with... Just trying to swim here, navigate through this, go to the store, and here's our... I have lost count on the switches. I think there's 4 left, so this is our 13th. Because next 2 stages have one, 7-1 has one, and then 7-6 has one. And I forgot to move. That's fine. Just gonna speed through those. We don't have to worry about the coconuts as long as we keep moving. That is less than ideal. I have plenty of lives though, so I think I'm just gonna take the chance. Honestly, worst case is I die, and A, we have plenty of lives, and B, I can get a health refill from the switch that's coming up. It is gonna be a little difficult, so we need to kind of clear out the enemies so we don't get hit by them on the way through. Okay, we're fine now. We're fine now. Nothing can hit us in a cannon. We just fly off, hit the switch like we normally do, and we're fine now. Then this stage is mean. And it puts the switch right here at the start of the stage, so the health refill is never really used. and of course, it's also right before the UFO family reunion, which is just as bad in this game as it was in KA. So don't worry, it sucks here too. I say as I completely render that a joke. I say as I just go through that, take no damage, again, I made this look easy. Your mileage may vary if you decide to play this, and I highly encourage playing this. This is a very fun, just way to play the game in general. was efficient. And now we continue to fight ourselves. Apparently, wow, I just gave myself the win. Ultimately, we call that, Brawl Top 8. 3 deaths is SUY, and the first 2 do not count. You know, just actually wait. What am I doing? We're gonna just switch here. I don't need that. I don't need the pepper here. We're just gonna ignore it. We don't need it. Like I said, we don't need it. We're good. And unfortunately, this is not as free for us in this run. These enemies each take 7 hits. And they are actually kind of scary with Meta Knight. Also, you'll notice that Roland Turtle wasn't a thing here. Yeah, we have Fan Fan. You know, an elephant. Fan Fan is adorable, and Fan Fan is also mean. He loves swinging around with his trunk and just making your life miserable. So does Budsy, and thankfully we were able to take that one down with no problems. Also, here's Fireline again. He's still grabbing me. Okay, we're fine. But yeah, unlike with UFO, we actually have to worry about, you know, stuff like... We have to worry about more positioning and general timing, because Spawnters likes to hit us a lot of time. If I'm not good on movement, Fan Fan can get me, or Bugsy, for that matter, and same for Fire Lion, as you noticed earlier. And the game did not want me going up there, that's okay. This is the last candy we get in the game. It is put to very good use to get through the last couple of rooms. Now, would you believe this is actually, in a weird way, potentially easier with Meta Knight? It is still a hard room. I found it easiest to just simply walk. Meta Knight's walking speed is similar to Kirby's run-in speed, so it's still not that slow, but it slows us down just enough to make it easier to deal with everything in that room. I have done this run a lot. Again, I made a lot of stuff look easier than it actually is, and that's not how I want to do that movement. That's okay. Okay, Drain really actually tried to give us a little bit of a fast one. Also, there's a few ways to do this room. This is the one that works for me because it keeps me safe. I have run into too many instances of just having things not go like I need to. And thankfully they didn't hit us at the end. That would have been kind of unfortunate. So now we're back here in the Dreamland 1 stage. Except now the enemies are also in color for reasons. Which isn't as nice. It would have been neat if they could have made them black and white still. But if our same stuff applies, we're just gonna run through the rooms as fast as we can. And so now we're doing it as Meta Knight, so we do have to be a little bit more mindful of things. We should be fine, actually. So I'm not going to worry about the tomato. Again, we have plenty of life. If we don't, I'll just lose some time if it happens. Also, I said at the end of the last run, hey, you know, there's a secret in here. Yeah, here's what's actually here. The final switch that we need, a 1 of 4 efforts if we really need it, and a tomato that's actually worthless because of the health refill. But we have hit every switch, we are good to go, and time will be on last hit for this fight. Because this is actually the last fight, we don't deal with Knightmare, we just beat up DDD. You know, friendly rivalry, and time. Okay, 34-25 endgame. Actually really good. This is not the best, but good enough. But I hope you've enjoyed both of these runs. I hope you enjoyed the run that's coming after this. It sounds interesting. Thank you for the GG. Let me give a quick shout out to the Kirby community in general. If you like every of these runs, you want to learn them yourself, go to speedrun.com/Kirby. We have a Discord server that covers most of the series. We'd be more than happy to have you. It's always nice to see more runners. But I think that's gonna probably be it. So let me go ahead and thank y'all again. Enjoy the runs that come after this. I'm sure they're gonna be good. And thanks for having me.